Okay, so you know that feeling, right? You're about to get out there, game on the line, and bam, your stomach's doing somersaults.
Yeah, heart's racing, palms are like a slip and slide. Pre-game jitters, we've all been there.
Exactly. And today, we're diving deep into that. Not just surviving the nerves, but making them work for you.
It's really interesting because pre-game anxiety, it's not just the pros, it's everyone, weekend warriors, the whole nine yards.
Totally. So we've got these 3 articles, and they're all about pregame anxiety, right? We're talking about
Yeah.
the how and why behind those butterflies.
hmm
Are they good? Are they bad?
And most importantly, how do you use those jitters to your advantage? And get this, one of them even mentioned Brandon Brooks, the Eagles player, said he threw up before every single game.
Whoa, every game. I'm lucky if I can keep a granola bar down before a big game. Talk about pressure.
Right. But it shows you it's totally normal, it's physiological, it's that primal fight or flight thing kicking in.
So, like, my brain thinks I'm facing down a saber-toothed tiger when it's really just a basketball game.
Exactly. Your brain sees the game as a challenge and sometimes even a threat. And boom, sympathetic nervous system goes into overdrive. Adrenaline, cortisol.
And that's where the sweaty palms and everything comes in.
Bingo! Increased heart rate, faster breathing, your body's getting ready for action.
Okay, I get it, but sometimes those nerves, they fire me up, I'm good to go. Other times, total freeze. So how do I know? Are these pregame jitters good or bad?
That is the million-dollar question. And it's something these articles really dig into. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Sweet spot, like a performance sweet spot.
Right. Like this one article, Pregame Anxiety, said a little bit of anxiety, can actually be great. You're focused, energized, ready to go.
Yeah, it's like that electric feeling right before the whistle, like you're in the zone.
Yes. But on the flip side, too much anxiety. That's when the negative self-talk starts. You overthink and choke under pressure.
Ugh, tell me about it. I've had games where I totally overthought everything, mistakes I never would have made. Brain just got fried.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to understand the difference between good nerves, bad nerves. It's not about getting rid of them completely. It's about using them.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we use the nerves, not let them use us?
Well, one of the biggest things is how we think about those jitters. Instead of fear or anxiety, what if it was excitement, anticipation?
I like that. It's like flipping the script, using that nervous energy.
Exactly. It's about changing that internal dialogue. Even Tiger Woods, right? The Pasted Text article talked about how he'd use those nerves as fuel to push himself harder.
Well, if it works for Tiger.
Exactly. We might not all be Tiger Woods, but the idea is the same. It's not about being fearless. It's about harnessing that energy, channeling it.
Okay, so we've reframed those jitters. We're feeling the energy. Now what? How do we actually make sure those nerves work for us in the game? So we're talking about reframing those jitters, feeling that energy, but how do we make sure those nerves actually help us during the game?
Well, one of the most common things we saw, it sounds simple, but pregame routines.
Okay, so routines.
hmm
What's the big deal about doing the same thing before every game?
Think about it. That routine, whatever it is, listening to music, your warm-up, even just a quiet minute to yourself, it signals to your brain that you've got this. It's familiar.
It's like, been here, done that, I know the drill.
Exactly. Less stress because there's a feeling of control. Even if the game itself is unpredictable, you've got your routine. And actually, the Pregame Anxiety article mentioned a study. Athletes who stuck to routines, they performed better under pressure.
Interesting. So their brains were less cluttered.
Yeah, totally. They could focus on what they needed to do.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about when you're new, new team, new sport, you haven't found your routine yet?
Right, great point. It takes a little trial and error, but even a few simple things can make a huge difference. Think about what helps you feel calm in other parts of your life. Music, maybe. Deep breaths. Even just visualizing yourself succeeding.
Oh, visualization. That was another big one in the articles. Like practicing for success in your head.
Exactly. The Pregame Anxiety article, it talked about how top athletes, Olympians, they use visualization all the time. They picture themselves playing their best, and their brains, they start to believe it's possible.
So I can actually visualize my way to a better game.
In a way, yeah. You're mentally rehearsing those good outcomes, rewiring your brain to handle the pressure.
I'm adding that to my pregame plan for sure. So routines, visualization. What else can we add to the toolkit here?
This might sound too simple, but communication is huge. Pre-game anxiety really stressed that, just talking about those nerves.
Wait, you mean telling people, like my teammates, that I'm nervous? Isn't that a little weak?
It can feel that way for sure, but honestly, you're not alone, Almost every athlete feels those pre-game jitters. Talking about it with your coach, a teammate, even a friend or family, it really helps.
Like letting off some steam.
Yes. And you might be surprised, a lot of your teammates are probably feeling the same way. Sharing that, it builds connections, and you can even get new ideas for coping.
Right, because admitting you're nervous, that's not weak, it's taking control.
Exactly. It's part of the mental game.
It's so easy to feel like you're the only one battling those butterflies. But everyone's got their own version of pre-game jitters.
Absolutely. And, the more we talk about it, the less power those nerves have.
So we've covered the mental side, but what about, like, my heart's racing, my palms are sweating? Any tips for that? So we talked about the mental game, communication, all that. But what about just, like, physically calming down? My heart's racing, I'm sweating, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, for sure. One of the best things is actually super simple. Deep breathing.
Deep breathing. Like in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Yeah. When you're anxious, your breathing gets all fast and shallow, right? But when you slow it down, those deep breaths, it calms your whole system down.
So it's like hitting the reset button on all that stress.
Exactly. And the best part, you can do it anywhere. Locker room, the bus, even right before you go out there.
Makes sense. What about things like meditation or mindfulness? I've heard athletes talk about that. Does that stuff actually work?
It can be really powerful for some people. It's all about finding what works for you, right? Some people, music helps them relax. Others, they need total quiet. There's no one right answer.
So no magic bullet for pregame jitters. It's about figuring out what works for you and having your own toolkit ready.
Exactly. And remember, this whole managing pregame anxiety thing, it's a process, It's not like you do it once and you're good. It takes practice, being patient with yourself.
And it's okay to ask for help. If you need to talk to someone, a coach, teammate, whoever, you don't have to do this alone. So big picture here. We've learned a ton about pregame anxiety, the why, the how, everything.
Right. It's not about pretending you're not nervous. It's about making that energy work for you. Like, we all have that natural stress response, right? But we get to choose how we use it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Finding that balance where the nerves help you, not hold you back.
Like a fire, right? Out of control, it's dangerous. But controlled, warmth, energy.
Love that. It's about making those nerves work for you. Better focus, intensity, even creativity.
So if we had to pick one big takeaway from today.
Don't be afraid to try things. Different techniques, find what works for you. This is a journey, not a one-time fix.
And remember, you are not alone. So many athletes deal with this, and there's help out there if you need it. Talk to someone, a coach, a teammate, anyone. There are people who can help you through it.
Exactly. And the more we talk about it, the less scary it seems, right? Pre-game jitters are normal. They're part of the game. So next time those nerves hit, don't fight them. Use them. That energy, that's you getting ready to play your best game.
Time to stop being afraid of those butterflies and make them work for you.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into pregame anxiety. Now go out there and crush it.
Until next time.